What's up, YouTube friends? You're probably thinking 2 videos in 1 week? Matt must be going crazy. Yes, I am. But today we're going to make these reusable fabric Easter eggs. You can make these in a variety of sizes. Today I'll be making mine 4.5 inches. And I'll be using this pretty multicolored fabric that came from Joann's. I just thought this was super cute. Every egg will be a little bit different depending on the colors I cut out. The things you're going to need to make one of these fabric eggs are an egg template. Like I said, I'm going to do 4.5 inches today, and I just cut this out on my Cricut. And you're also going to need 4 rectangles that measure 4.5 by 5.5. Now these go together really fast and easy. I made these 4 in about 5 minutes. And you can see the variety of different colors. I think that's really cute. So the first thing I'm going to do is take 2 of my rectangles. I think I'm going to do these 2. I'm going to fold it in half the long way. And I'm going to take these over to my ironing board and give them a press. And now I'm just going to take these over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to top stitch with an 1/8 inch seam allowance on the side with the fold on both of my pieces. So today I'll be using a straight stitch. My length is a 2.5. I'm going to do an 1/8 inch seam allowance, so I'm going to move my needle over to the right and back stitch, and then just keep sewing. Next, I'm going to take my 2 rectangles for the outside. I'm going to lay one face down and the other one face up. Next, I'm going to just take my pieces that we just sewed and I'm going to lay it right on top. Now I want these to overlap about 1/4 inch, so it's not going to line up on the top or the bottom. So I'm just kind of line up my straight stitch there with the one on the bottom. It does not have to be perfect as long as your egg template will fit on there, and mine does. Then I'm just going to take a couple clips and clip all of my layers together. Then I'm just going to take my template, and with my friction pen or a pencil, I'm going to trace around my egg, just like that. And now I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew directly on the line, back stitching at the beginning and the end. So I'm just going to move my needle back to the center, and I'm going to line it directly up on my line and back stitch. And then just slowly follow your line. So it should look like that. And now with my pinking shears, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to snip around my egg. And now I'm just going to flip it right side out. and then just give it a press. And just like that, these are finished. This could not be any easier. As I mentioned, you could make these any size that you want. These are kind of on the larger side. You could fit a couple pieces of big candy in there, some money, a little toy, or whatever you choose. And just in about 20-30 minutes, you could have a whole dozen of these. So I'm just going to make a few more of these to get some of these oranges and yellows in there. But I hope you give this quick, reusable Easter egg a try. They're super quick, as you can see. Very beginner friendly. And this is something that you can pass down to your children and your children's children. Thanks for watching. Have a great Easter, and I'll see you next time.